All right, so we got a private demo here of what I think is the new Magnepan. But we just came for the wine, yeah. So this is interesting. We're in a Magnepan room, but those are Martin Logan's.
Without drivers on it. Yeah, there's no...
Yeah, the woofer is taken out. So this should be an interesting demo here. What amp is that down there? Is that a bat?
Where did Jordan go? It doesn't look like he belongs in the white column on the left.
It's a new type of bass track. I think it's a lamp. To be honest, yeah, it's a lamp.
What is that?
That's, I think, is the stub right there that they're going to replace with that driver. My guess, at least.
Look at one of those escape rooms and figure out what's going on.
My guess is he took out the bass driver there and is going to replace it with these two towers. Huh? Yeah.
I can't even get something to eat.
Somebody just came by offering food and your wife turned him away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And a whole package.
The diptyque guy just came by. He said, I got food, and your wife
I'll
said,
bet it was something we can't eat.
oh, okay, that might be.
You want a mint?
I'll take one.
No, the only thing that works is protein.
Hmm.
You know, if you want to, otherwise you get these
Right.
carbohydrates are bad news.
Well, we just had pizza, so we're going to test that theory. We're testing that real time right now.
So now where does beer fit in?
Yeah.
Protein.
Fat and protein works. Fat's a little bit too slow,
Hmm.
but carbohydrates, you know, it doesn't work.
I hear that music is food of life, so, you know, just,
So you have a channel?
yeah, YouTube channel, Audiophile Junkie. I can give you my card.
Oh, I've heard of you.
Oh, you have? I used to own
Where am I?
Maggie's.
I'm
that-
confusing you with drug site.
Which one? Don't confuse me with the wrong guy.
It's black humor. It's dark humor, I should say.
It's like cards that you have. I'm sure you probably watch every minute you can.
I'm glued. Here's his card.
Okay.
Don't miss another video, Wendell.
Have you subscribed yet?
Yeah,
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten so involved in so many things that I don't get involved in social media.
I gotcha.
You know, when I need a camping equipment, I Google something, or I use Gmail. That's it. Nothing
Gotcha.
more.
Okay. You've reached the level of
But that
Gmail.
is,
I hate my Gmail.
the reality is that saying if it's not on the internet, it didn't happen. And
Mhm.
I've seen this since Glenn and I have been touring. We do this event. You guys come, you have a great time, and you thank us, and I want my Maggie's, you go home. And then from a marketing standpoint, in a couple of months, it didn't happen.
Mhm.
So now we're emphasizing we need
Yeah.
video, and we need you to get on the chat rooms, because we're traveling on, it's a democratic process. If people in Portland, Oregon hear it, and Phoenix, etc., they say, yeah, I heard it, this is what I thought. You build a consensus, and that's what we're doing.
Mhm.
So it's important for each show that there be some chatter on the internet. But this event, I've never done something like this in my career, in my 50 years. I'm promoting other people's products.
That's what I noticed, yeah.
Yeah. But that doesn't make any sense, except that we're at a juncture here where this new generation of woofers is catching on, and there's more to come. If you go to room, I think it's 1114, Jansen.
Yep.
Did anyone?
Yep,
anyone,
KLH9, yeah.
The new, I call it the new KLH9.
Yeah,
Is
that's
what,
right.
Are they using that term?
Yeah, it's
The-
KLH9, yeah.
No, they're calling it the 9.5. What's the 9.5?
No, they call it the reissue of the KLH9.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, why not new KLH9?
Well, I guess, yeah, that's,
Yeah. Okay, well, here, I haven't been up, I've been talking to David
sounds good.
Jansen, but I haven't had a chance to hear it. Is it good or is it great, or can't you tell in a short?
no, well, you can't ever tell the potential in a hotel room, but yeah, it was very impressive. It's got a little bit wider dispersion than his other models. So yeah, it's got a wider sweet spot. Line source, like you like,
Yeah.
open baffle. It's got that back panel that kind of gives a little bit more than like your traditional speakers. So it's got a good acoustic wave with all those drivers. The Pistonic drivers give you that acoustic wave
Yeah.
that a lot of people say a Maggie can't give you sometimes. So it's a good hybrid.
Well, I would argue it's not a hybrid, because all hybrids have been a dipole with a monopole.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a dipole with a dipole. And that's what I'm promoting at this show, is that this Jansen, Magnepan, there's more coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talk to Sandy Gross, others. This is a new frontier, and it's happened because of the three things. These ultra wideband, low mass, smallish drivers, DSP and Class D amplifiers. Now we can do things we never could in the past by using lots of them. It costs more money, but it really works. And so to make the point, instead of showing with a Magneplaner, the Logan is the best known panel speaker on the market. So you'll notice that the woofers have been removed. And so I'm showing this concept with our prototypes, but I'm really talking about saying this is the new designs that are coming, and we welcome the competitors. So to raise awareness.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if this is an open baffle, what is a closed baffle woofer?
Vented or unvented?
What do you mean? Like,
Well, this term, where did this term come from, open baffle? Because it's baffling to me, because, so I asked the question, what is a closed baffle? If this is an open baffle woofer, what is a closed baffle woofer?
A box.
A box.
yeah.
What we call them box speakers, we don't call them closed box speakers. So my point is, I'm hoping that the press, you're the influencers, I'm hoping that the term will be, we will call them dynamic dipole woofers, or dipole woofers, as opposed to open baffle, because you guys are on the inside, here in the know, where a lot of people, the average consumer that might be interested in audio, you say open baffle, like, huh? So we're getting kind of off the
Do
subject.
you think the
here.
semantics don't matter, whether it's just dipole or
Well,
open baffle?
Remember Apogee, and they were calling it a ribbon speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So I started telling the press, wait a minute, now what is the definition in a ribbon speaker? It's like subwoofer, it's becoming generic.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, we're calling it a quasi-ribbon, because the true ribbon, the Deca and square ribbons, were simply a corrugated aluminum foil between two magnets that carried the current. That was the ribbon. That was the definition, understood definition of ribbon. Now we put the ribbons on a substrate and we still call it a ribbon. So I started suggesting quasi-ribbon, because it is ribbons, but it's on a substrate. So now it's, you're varying from the original design. So then we call our tweeter a true ribbon, and we call the quasi-ribbon all the ribbons that are on a diaphragm. So I'm getting way off subject, because you're an important influencer, and I'm raising the question, why do we call it, I think we should get away from calling it open baffle.
Okay.
Now, let's get back on the subject of because you're in the know, because you're experienced, there's a style of music that I've noticed, having done shows for 50 years. I'm watching you, I'm noticing what, as attendees, what things get your toes tapping or you moving, and there's a characteristic of the kind of music that's successful at shows. And it's not classical music, not an orchestra. But because this show is aimed at those in the know, they know that an orchestra is the most demanding for a loudspeaker system. So I would never start a show playing an orchestra, but you're a different audience, so I'm starting with a reference recording made by Professor Johnson, made in Kansas City Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
That's a lot of talking, but there's a lot of explaining. You're gonna have to edit a lot of
We need
this.
some
obviously.
listening
Yeah,
and to know what we're listening to.
yeah, and well, and the purpose of what I'm trying to accomplish here, I have to give you context, because this is unlike anything I've ever done.
So what are we listening to though here?
Oh, shoot. Martin Logan's.
I know, but what are the towers next to them?
Well, that's our dipole open baffle woofers.
Yeah, so you didn't tell us too much about that though. What?
Well, they're very fast. I'm not selling them. I'm not promoting our version because it's fundamentally similar to the Jansen. You know how the
Yeah.
Jansen works. It's the same thing.
Same thing, okay.
Not the same thing, but it's the same concept.
Okay.
The woofer?
16 woofers, 6.5 inch, very wide band out to 10 kilohertz,
Okay.
and operating in a dipole fashion.
And what are you crossing them over at?
Well, because they're wide band, you can use the 6 dB slope, and it can share the load with the electrostat, and you can't. It's seamless.
Is that right? And so you're using DSP as well, you mentioned?
No, I don't. It turns out I don't need it here, but it's advised
Mm-hmm.
that DSP can benefit most any woofer system.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, enough talking.